It is such a blessing that we all get a chance to work collaboratively together, sharing health, wealth, and freedom. I'm Sajda.
Mubaka.
I'm Dawn Muhammad.
I'm Rick in Austin.
Yay. So, Rick, I adore the way you are able to make this really high energy, straightforward, and to the point of health, wealth, and freedom. So, tell me, why does it matter?
Well, I tell you, one of the reasons it matters, in fact, the real reason it matters is, first of all, we all only get one life, and it's a special thing. And it's too short and too precious not to live the life that you want. And one of the things that's great about where we live is, and this is a really important thing, is that the Constitution guarantees us liberty. At least it says that. And what liberty is everybody's supposed to get an equal chance to become as unequal as possible. It doesn't mean equal outcomes. It means supposed to get an equal starting line. Mm-hmm. Throughout the history of the world, people have different advantages, different things that hold them back, all sorts of things. But just because you have an equal chance doesn't mean that you ever get the opportunity to be free. For example, if you're sick, if you have financial troubles, if you're doing something that you can't stand, you're living in a world where you have liberty, which is the ability to be free, but you don't have or you have the opportunity, you don't have the ability.
Right.
In fact, I would venture to guess that 95% of people living right now, and if you look at all of human history, maybe 1/10% of people have ever had the opportunities that we have right now walking the earth, living where we all live. But the challenge is, what are we doing with it? Right. So if someone gave you something precious, like, for example, my wife has her mother's china. She passed away a couple of years ago. We don't put that china in the garage on a shelf. We put that china somewhere special because it's precious to us.
Yeah.
So many people take their freedom, which is everything, and instead of putting it on the high shelf or putting it somewhere precious, they treat it like it's a paper plate in the garage. And then what happens is we live a life that we're not fulfilled, being who we're supposed to be, doing what we're supposed to do. And we don't know why we're not happy, yet we are surrounded by things. Mm-hmm. And I really believe that if you take a look at what's important in life, having your health, time with your family, the ability to do the things you love, whether it's painting or singing or playing a sport or traveling or being with your grandkids, one of the and I'll say this as quick as I can, but when you take a job, remember when I was 16, I took a job so I could have money to get things that I like. And I can remember one time it was a really nice Saturday and I called in sick because my life was more important than my job. Mm-hmm. What's really fascinating is most people that are going to hear this, probably the car they drive, the way they exercise or lack thereof, their ability to have their faith exercised, the clothes they wear, the food they're able to eat, the health choices they have access to, the trips they take or don't take, the time they can spend with their family. Isn't it ironic that the thing that's supposed to be a planet orbiting your sun, which is your life, ends up being the sun and your life becomes the planet?
Yeah.
And that it swallows you like Pac-Man.
Right.
So you've got something that you don't like and you're afraid you're going to lose. And what happens is people actually sacrifice their health because of it. And so people end up lost. So what we've got today, we've got, 2 cars in every driveway. I was talking to my great-grandparents. I said, did you guys have 2 cars? What do you mean? Nobody had 2 cars. They had 1 television. They didn't have 5. They didn't have phones with all these things on it. Yet they were happy and they were more at peace 50 and 60, yes, 75 years ago. So, and I'm not trying to get esoteric. I'm actually being concrete because people today are seeking for something to be more connected in a world where we're connected to everything, yet we have no connectivity. It's almost like being in the Matrix. And I think what N.E.W.S gives, if I could really sum it up, the reason I care about N.E.W.S is because it's something real in a world of slogans. You see the politicians with their slogans. You see the companies with their slogans. Yeah. What I like about N.E.W.S is we actually diminish our own slogans and deliver in the speak softly and carry a big stick mentality. We give you simple tools to be healthy. And, if something's a real idea that's profound, it doesn't have to be complex.
Right.
It has to be simple. What about N.E.W.S? Are we we could get scientists on here to say about the efficaciousness of far infrared and how these will affect cells. Here's my take. It's a simple way for somebody of any background to feel better.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, as a human being, you guys, if all I do is make another human being feel better, or a child or an elderly person or somebody whose back feels better, you ever heard that saying, if you save one person, you save them all?
Yes.
The thing I like about N.E.W.S, a lot of people get into all sorts of inspirational stuff and they want to do grand things.
Mhm.
And I've always been of the opinion, having been around a lot of people saying a lot of grand things, that most people fall short in their grand things because they start to sacrifice good things to get them.
Mm.
How many of the people we love through history, we find out later all these crazy scandals and stuff because they wanted to do great things so well that they were willing to compromise good. And so I'll cut a little corner here, take a little bit of money, but it's for the big picture of the cause.
Yeah.
And they end up wrecking themselves. Here's what I like about N.E.W.S. We help people feel better. We give them value.
Mhm.
We put products on them. And when they share them, they make real income based off real value. When you connect people who use the products, they get real results and real value. It's a network built on helping people up, on providing value. And that value is, I feel better. And if I'm going to put green paper in the bank that says, "In God We Trust," with George Washington's face on it, I actually think that has a lot less real value than somebody who has their hurt back made to feel better, or their child isn't trying to be put on Ritalin.
Yeah.
Real value. So what I like about N.E.W.S, and I talk about these things, I don't love N.E.W.S and then I'm interested in those things. I loved those things before I was in N.E.W.S, and N.E.W.S matched them. I did not see N.E.W.S and have to change my value system. N.E.W.S matched it. So here's the deal. I like to help all people of all backgrounds achieve health and freedom. I like to give everybody an equal chance to become as unequal as possible. I do not believe in equal outcomes. We have two schools of thought in this country right now. It's everybody gets an equal outcome, which means you sap the human condition, or we tried to have just the people with advantages get head starts. And both of them are opposite ends that don't work. What I like about N.E.W.S, it's an equal chance to become as unequal as possible. There's no equal outcomes, but you still spread it by achieving health and wellness so nobody's left behind. You guys have heard of trickle down economics. You've heard of the whole spectrum of, we're going to take money from these people and give it to those people. We have trickle down, which means you're going to keep it. Hopefully it'll get to the people that need it. The thing I like about N.E.W.S is I actually believe it's the first time in human history someone invented trickle up economics.
Right.
Mhm.
Where the least of ours come on board with the least resources and the least time and can raise their condition to become something they're excited about. Folks, it's not about money. It's not just about health. What I like about N.E.W.S is you can have like the whole thing. You can have like a life. And like, I don't know where you divide the pie. If I'm eating a Reese's peanut butter cup, I don't know where to tell you I like the peanut butter, not the chocolate.
Mhm.
How do you separate health and finances? Well, okay, I'm looking at N.E.W.S. Is it a business? Is it a product? Well, is a Reese's peanut butter cup peanut or chocolate? It's both, or it's not a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Right.
So when you're looking at this, let me just sum it up with this. When you look at N.E.W.S, we're not going to give you a lot of baloney, a lot of hype, and a lot of slogans. We have real stuff that creates real value at a real price. We have real opportunity because of that anyone from any background, of any age, of any whatever, can come into this, and you're judged on the body of work that you do, not on what you've done or not done up to this point. You want to talk about being judged in the content of your character? N.E.W.S is the only thing I've ever seen that can deliver on that, because I've seen a lot of things. We may not be the only thing, but the list is pretty small.
Mhm.
And you want to talk about being judged in the content of your character, your body of work, not asking for your resume or the advantage you got by your birth, but N.E.W.S giving you advantage because you stepped forward to achieve a new beginning. And I love that about N.E.W.S. It inspires me. And what you're going to see with this company is I'm not going to make a slogan, we're going to change the world, because people that do that, well, I kind of talked about that a minute ago. Everybody's ever talked about changing the world ends up cutting corners to do it. And there's a real fine line between a guy like Hitler that wanted to change the world and a do-gooder that wanted to change the world, because they both eventually end up cutting corners.
Yeah.
And what I like about N.E.W.S is, I don't know if we're going to change the world, but it's changed my life. It can change your life. And if your life gets better, your world has changed. So you get the same result. And there's a lot of people that have made a lot of money. And usually you have to look on a pile of people that you either had to step over, step on to get there. What I like about N.E.W.S is you get to look around at people that you're lifted up. and the value that the products gave them. So N.E.W.S special to me, I know that's a little bit esoteric. I could give you numbers and I could give you this and that, and I could tell you why our network is superior. To me, those are all like fruits hanging off the tree. What the tree of N.E.W.S is, if you really want to boil it up, we're going to give you products to give you health. We're going to give you a business that shares the wealth to create health. So it's built on a foundation. And if you follow the compensation plan, it's structured so that you can get a reproductive residual income that will set you free. And I'm not talking free because you got money in the bank. I'm talking free because you get there without having to sit in the dark at night and question how you got there, which I would bet 85% of self-made people have to have that conversation with themselves at night. And I don't ever want to have it. I want to feel good about it from top to bottom. And those are hard opportunities to find. What makes N.E.W.S so special is we're the only one I know of that can get all that done. So I'm not a head in the clouds, esoteric N.E.W.S guy. I actually think those are what's interesting is a lot of people hear that stuff and say, hey, you know, that's all nice, noble ideals. What's kind of interesting is, why are those not the things we're thinking about first? Why are they the things we're thinking about last? What would your life be like if you expected liberty to deliver freedom to you because of the actions and choices that you made? What if you refused to say, I live in a land where I have liberty, but I don't have freedom? And there's all sorts of things that keep people from freedom. But I'll tell you what, if you were making $10,000 a month, I bet a lot of those things would be, you could conquer them.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody can hold you back. If you know, the biggest thing that holds people back is the lack of ability to finance your own choices. If you're expecting somebody else to help you get there, they can take it away. If someone gives it to you, they can take it away. Don't, I'm going to use the word take. I'm not saying take in the negative sense. Freedom's a thing that has to be taken by every single person that's in this country. Some are just born with advantages. Others have to get it. And if you weren't born with a silver spoon, you got to get it. And N.E.W.S to me is the smartest way to get it. Yeah, every single person in this country has to earn their own freedom unless the generation before them handed it down to them. And what's interesting is how many of them squander it too, because they don't appreciate it. They didn't earn it. Look at the wreckage of people that win lotteries. Look at the second generation rich people, how they squander their existence.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
Take a look at N.E.W.S people and look at the N.E.W.S diamonds and rolled diamonds that have made millions of dollars. You couldn't tell them apart in the room. They're in there flashing Rolexes and stuff.
That's
you know
right.
why they're not doing that? Because they're not trying to impress people with their watch. You can just sit in the room. You know, if you're an orange tree, you don't have to put up a sign that says, man, I make great oranges. Everybody knows it because they can taste the fruit.
Exactly.
Right.
What's cool about N.E.W.S is you build a big N.E.W.S business, you don't have to put on a shirt saying I wear a Rolex. You might wear one because you like it, but you're not going to have to pass it around the room to your little group because everybody's going to know you created wealth. Yeah. That's what I like about N.E.W.S. We have an incredibly advanced yet simple product line that's accessible and easy to use that can change lives. We have an incredibly simple, duplicable, scalable business model with the Teach Tree to Reach Tree system and health, wealth, and freedom. And we have a compensation plan once you set it in motion. We have the customers, the products, the wide and deep product line, the protected patents. We have the structure to duplicate it. And we don't have to manage pins that become a diminishing resource over 40 years. When people die when they're diamond, trying to replace somebody that's a level 8 when you're 75, we actually have legs that don't age with our people. The volume stays. And if you don't understand that, just here's what it means. When you build this, you don't have to rebuild it. You build it forward and you're standing on a foundation of stone. You've all heard the parable of the man that can build on sand or the man that can build on stone, or the man or the woman that can. The parable, of course, is saying, build on stone. That's what it is here, is you're building on stone. And it's not for everybody. Not everybody has an interest in health and wellness, and not everybody's an entrepreneur. Some people are more people-oriented. Some are more task-oriented. If you have a hard time with people, you're going to struggle here, not because N.E.W.S is hard. A football has a tough time in a soccer game. Mm-hmm. So you have to ask yourself, are you a soccer ball in a soccer game? And when you're hearing this, are you saying, man, I could get excited about getting healthy and then getting wealthy and then getting free? If it's speaking to you, you probably are on this frequency.
Yeah.
If it's not, that's cool too, man. Look, you're not going to be free if you do this and it's not your thing. Your freedom is different than mine. right? But I
Yeah.
want my mind to be free first. We have a lot of people right now who have liberty, but they're not free upstairs. And start to expect freedom for yourself. And I would write on a piece of paper. This is where I'm going to end it. What would I really like to do? And then look at what you're currently doing and ask if there's any way you can get from here to there. And if there's not, I'm begging you for the sake of your own precious life to start building a bridge from where you are to where you want to go. And N.E.W.S is that bridge.
Indeed.
N.E.W.S is the bridge that bridges the gap between who you are and where you want to be. And I'll tell you this, as you come across the gap, we're all going to be standing there holding up the bridge for you to come across. And then when you get there, we're going to help you guide other people across.
That's
So
right.
that's what's cool about it, man, is this is the way to get from where you are to where you want to go. And I don't care if you're far away, lost by yourself, thinking, how can I ever get there? Don't worry about that right now. Just know where you want to go. You know, I drove to Chicago from Austin once, my hometown. I couldn't see Chicago from here. But the minute I got that old map, I could find my way just by making the next turn. Don't worry about driving the whole 1,000 miles right now. Don't worry about every place you're going to stop and eat. Just make the next right or left turn.
Yes.
And if you come into N.E.W.S and you get healthy, and then you share the products and you start to create some wealth, and you work the comp plan through the levels with our simple system, that's turn right, turn left, take this off ramp. Before you know it, you'll be in Chicago. And you're on Chicago, and that's it. And I think so. I want to tell you, don't worry about driving the whole thing right now. Just get in the car.
Indeed.
We'll fix the rest of you. And N.E.W.S isn't perfect. Every human endeavor's got things that you and I have to be challenges with. N.E.W.S is just better.
Right. You know, I'm sitting here chuckling and just wanting to do cartwheels because we actually have a N.E.W.S baby right there in Juan's arms. Her mother went into preterm labor at 16 weeks, and she got immediately her on our waterfall water as well as lactoferrin, and baby Nuri is right there having a ball with grandmama.
Right on.
There she is, and she is very, very attentive. As a matter of fact, when we mix her formula, it's mixed with the N.E.W.S water. And she's just perfect in every way. Somebody who wasn't expected to be here, but by the grace of God and some products from N.E.W.S, you know, we're very, very.
Do you know about the pet pad?
Yes, I did hear about the pet pad.
Pet pad is a crib. It actually fits in a baby bed. Our big buffalo, our 70-pound horse, slept on that his whole life. And it did all kinds of wonders for him too. So if you don't have one, give it a shot. You'll love it. And it's covered. So if they mess up on it, you just throw it in the wash and it's good. So that was something pretty awesome too. But I'm glad we got a new baby down there. And that's pretty exciting stuff. And I'll tell you what, in 18 years from now, we'll be celebrating a new silver pin. So that's a good thing.
That's right. Yes.
Well, speaking of which, I better go. I got to go wrestle with a buffalo. I got to do my floor time with him here in a minute. I got to wear him out or he'll wear me out, one of the two.
Make sure you have your inner souls on with that.
I'm telling you, man, I got to. It ain't long before I was watching. You guys know who Howie Long is? He plays NFL. Yeah. He has two. He's an All-Pro or a Hall of Fame. He has two sons that are in the NFL. And they said, Howie, when did you know how big your boys were? He said, well, we were wrestling one Christmas, and I looked down, and I realized my feet were flying in a circle. He said, that's what I realized how big they were. So.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you have nutrition, energy, water, and sleep, because you can get to apply all of the energy products on you before and use all the goody goodies after and stay hydrated and then sleep.
Hey, man, I'm telling you, I'm viejo hombre here. I got to get all the help I can get to keep up with my 6-year-old, man. I got to keep it. I'm not like Robert De Niro with a 6-year-old being 70, but I'm the big 5-0's coming up. I got to stay on my gear so I can hang with them.
Yes, yes.
Right on, everybody. I appreciate hanging out with you guys. It's super cool. You guys are great friends, and I have huge respect for your business acumen, your leadership, your skills. Yeah. I look forward to a lot of great things. I'm always at your service, but you guys are a fantastic team, and it's an honor to be your pals.
We appreciate you immensely, indeed.
Well, thanks, guys. It's great to have great pals. That's I guess that's the other sign of a well-lived life. Is if you got good friends, and that's as good as it gets.
It sure is.
Take care. God bless everybody.
Talk to you soon.
You bet.
Sister Grace, if I can call on you for a minute, can you share with us your amazing testimony? Because you've had a few.
Greetings, everyone. I joined Nikon because of my daughter. She has scoliosis, and she's scheduled for surgery. It was supposed to have been later on this month, but it's been put back till next year. And we joined so that to see if the products could help to straighten her spine. When I ordered the products, not knowing exactly where we were going to head with it, I found out the day before the products came, she was having problems breathing. And the doctors had warned us that that was going to be an issue. Fast forward, I went to, I was going to the bathroom the night and I saw she wasn't sleeping. So I asked her, why is she still awake at this hour of the night? And she said she couldn't breathe. We somehow, rearranged her pillows and stuff so she could get to sleep. But later that day, the products came and I put her on the seat and told her she's going to be sleeping on that. And later that night when I went to check on her, she was breathing normally. And, thus far, she's been sleeping well, with the system. I also made sure she got the water bottle. She has her insoles and her necklace, and keeping our fingers,
Going in the right direction.
To the creator that we'll soon start seeing some shifting in the spine.
Indeed,
Yeah.
but you've already seen her breathing improve. So
Yes.
we've already seen major improvements because it was that same night that to me, I've never heard except from Nikon testimony of such an immediate improvement when you're talking about breathing. Have you?
No.
Yeah.
I've never heard of anything like that. So.
Yeah. And then I know you had a car accident and I was the mean friend who said, well, you have your energy pack, so if nothing's broken, and even if it is, I know you're good. So after you got over from the fact that, of course, that I was horrible and just knew you did.
Actually, as you said, I came home and I made sure I had the Magflex, and I put it right at the back of my neck, and I slept on, with it right there at the back of my neck for, that night. What else did I do? I can't remember what else I did, but basically that has helped to, keep my neck in good health. I haven't had any pains, and whenever I have any pains, I either use that or I use the Mag Duo to rub on the area, and my pain goes away.
Yay. And the Habakkuk, I know you were just talking about your ankle. Can you share with everyone else who doesn't know all the goody goodies I know?
Well, I suffered a injury from high school, and actually before that, 11 years old in middle school, that I played baseball. So I actually sprained my ankle, but later on, they said that I broke my ankle. So I had to wear insoles. I had to wear ankle brace. I had to wear, high top sneakers and all of those things, and walking on my feet with, in law enforcement. Over the years, I had to wear ankle brace every single day. So now that I come across with the tools of the insoles, I've gone from 7 days a week wearing an ankle brace to no day a week wearing an ankle brace by with the insoles and the nutrition and the water. It's like a 1-2 punch. You have to do one. You can't do one without the other. So
Right.
definitely the tools definitely works.
Okay. So I see we're all having amazing testimonies that we get to share with people, and we're welcoming everyone to join us with health, wealth, and freedom using nutrition, energy, water, sleep. Get back with the person who shared the video with you, whereby then you too can be your testimonial in the making.